hello, and welcome to another vKind Live. I have Julian here from Superfit Gym located in Florida, Palm, Palm County,
Yes,
correct?
West Palm
Perfect.
Beach, Florida. Yes, it's great to
Thank you
be
so much
on.
for being on. Yes, thank you so much. You have such amazing story. You've been vegan for over 20 years. You guys have an
21.
established gym and you help so many people transition into a plant-based diet. So please tell us a little
Yes.
bit about your story.
Okay. Well, Yvonne and I, about 21 years ago, we decided that, there must be a way to thrive without harming other sentient beings. So that's how the journey began. And then from there, I mean, back then, you didn't have as many options as you have now in terms of the
Mhm.
mock meats. And, the choices
Yeah.
are wider now. Then, it was beans, rice. And I think it was better for us in that situation because then you had to depend on how you mixed your earthy foods, and we concentrated on being raw and staying close to the earth and being colorful, so that way we'll be eating in a balanced fashion. So back then you had to learn how to balance out your nutrients a little easier, and I think it was to our benefit because when it comes to teaching people how to transition, we have that base. You see. So I think that
Yes.
for us, the most important thing is that we're not harming other sentient beings. That's the main motivation. And then the other side benefits are great because once we stopped eating animals, the health improved, and we had a few very really good side benefits. But the main focus was in staying away from harming animals and staying more to a plant-based diet.
Yes, and that's the whole purpose of trying to make sure that people understand that you can get all these benefits without having to harm anybody in the process because
Right.
there's so many different options out there and they're available. You just have to start looking
Hmm.
in that direction.
Right. And I'll be forthright with you. I mean, the mock meats are nice, and they're great to use for transitioning. If you're used to the consistency of the animal flesh, and you're missing it, then I guess that's one good way to transition without feeling like you're making too many sacrifices. But I
Yes.
always tell people not to make that the base of the diet. Stay close to the earth with single ingredient items and be colorful. That to me is the main,
Yes.
main, main thing. You know,
I
once you
mean,
represent in your colors. Mhm.
yes, yeah, that's true. You need to have the color of the rainbows on your plate. And
Absolutely, yes.
I totally agree with you with the mock meats. I understand, the more we get into those, the more processed they are, and it's
Yeah.
harder for your body to break down as opposed to just eating, plants.
Well, a lot of times the way that I explain it to people is that anything that's processed, really and truly, it's not that difficult for your body to deal with it in terms of breaking it down. So it becomes a part of you a little easier. But if you're eating the foods that are more close to the earth and are high in fiber, they usually spend a longer time in your system,
Yes.
and it also keeps you more regular. And there's so many benefits to having high fiber foods. You
Yes.
don't want those nutrients to be processed, in your system. You want your body to actually process them and try to get at their nutrients back on tune. And that in turn speeds up your metabolism.
Which definitely is important, especially when you're working out. So tell us a little bit
Yes.
about Superfit Gym and
Okay.
all that you've accomplished over there.
Well, we pride ourselves on saying we're the only vegan gym in Florida. We keep Googling it, and it's true. And when I say vegan, I mean vegan. There's no leather in the gym. We only use cleaning products that have not been tested on animals. We recycle. I mean, we cover all the bases with it. And of course, we only advocate for a plant-based diet. Anyone who comes in here, if they ask about nutrition, we only advise that they eat a plant-based diet. You see, so usually when people come in, they're a little skeptical about the results. But once they get on the plan, we say, okay, use it as a way of cleansing your body. Once they get on the plan and they feel better and the blood pressure goes down and then the health improves and they find that they're not having to use many medications, then they're kind of hooked. And from there, I always tell people give it a chance. And from there, usually it's a real easy transition. You start asking more and more questions, and more and more doors start to open. The more curious you become about it.
Yes, so I'm going to tell you my own experience whenever I was working out at a gym that wasn't vegan, and I was one of the few few vegans that they had, it was very difficult to talk to a trainer who didn't understand my lifestyle.
Yeah,
They kept trying to get me to eat like whey protein or eat chicken, because in their mindset,
yeah,
that's the only way you can get protein in your body is through animal derived products.
correct.
And I
Yeah,
kept trying to show them, facts, statistics, articles about, no,
right.
there's so many different options out there, and there's so many bodybuilders, weightlifters, Olympians that all are on a plant-based diet that you can achieve this with. But let's just
Yes.
say some people are not as open-minded to that. So I love the fact that the people at your gym that have come, you've been able to talk to them and
Yeah.
introduce them to a plant-based diet.
And you're correct. The main concern usually is protein. I'll tell you right now, I have never, in my experience, said that, and I've been working with people in the gym environment since 1982. I've never come across anyone with a protein deficiency. You
I
know what I'm saying?
know.
I mean, unless they have some sort of like congenital, something that's inherent in biologically, where they're having issues digesting and absorbing proteins. It's a medical condition. I
Yes.
don't think people have any issues with getting in protein as long as they're eating adequate calories from a variety of sources. And I've shown people lists of fruit that are high in. Look, to me, avocado is a complete food. Coconut is a complete food. When you look at the amino acid breakdown, they're rich in essential and non-essential. It may not be high numbers, but then again, the question becomes, how much protein do you think you need? You see, and I think there's some folks that think that you need an exorbitant amount of protein, and that in
Yes.
itself is very, very stressful on the body, on your kidneys, and in the way your body processes that much protein. Eventually, that catches up with you. I see a lot of people who come in with kidney stones, having to deal with, oh my goodness, having all these grams of protein in on a daily basis, and then the body starts to rebel. And it will talk to you, it'll tell you, oh, I don't like all this protein.
Well,
Most people don't
what do
understand that
you
sign.
Yeah, and I want to say that's the one thing that I think is always pushed is when you're working out, you're trying to build muscle, you need to have X amount of protein, because if
Yeah.
you don't, then your body's not replenishing it. So, can you tell me a little bit
Yeah,
about what your thoughts are
absolutely.
on that?
Yeah, because it's amazing to me. Well, like I was saying before, how much protein the people think they actually need. And I
Yes.
have a little formula that I use here. I check people's body fat percentage, and I say feed the lean mass. Don't feed the fat. You're trying to get your body to burn the excess body fat. You're trying to get
Yes.
lean, right? So think in terms of, okay, what is viable in the body that actually needs calories to keep
Yes.
functioning, and fat is just
Yes.
stored extra calories, right?
Yes.
So I always consider just the number, the lean mass number, the fat-free mass number, and I say feed that. And usually I advise 1 gram per kilogram of lean mass. So from there
Okay.
already I have dropped the protein requirement down significantly. They're usually eating 1 gram per pound of body weight is what I always
Ye-
hear. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
I do
sure you're
too.
familiar with that. Right,
Yes.
1 gram
Uh-huh.
per pound. I break it down into kilograms and I go per lean mass. So I
Okay.
automatically bring it down and then from there start introducing more foods that are rich in micronutrients, your vitamins and minerals. And advise also if you are into a bodybuilding phase to use more branched chain amino acids and things that your body can use quickly and metabolize quickly for recovery. Because recovery is what you're concerned about. Recovery is the most important part in terms to me of building muscle mass. Recovery, making sure that your body has adequate rest,
Yes.
stimulate it, don't annihilate it, and make sure that you're adequately nourished so that it has enough nutrients to rebuild tissue. Because when you work out, you're breaking down the tissue a bit, and then as you rest, it's rebuilding itself bigger and stronger. Anticipating that you're going to do that again, go into the gym and
Yes.
work on it hard again. I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you go into the gym one day and you're able to lift a certain weight and have no effort, no problems with it. And
Yes.
then the next time you go to lift it, you feel it weighs like 10 times heavier than the day before, two
Exactly.
days before, right? That's
Yes.
a recovery issue. Recovery. So your body telling you that it needed more time, that maybe you
More
didn't feed
time.
it enough nutrients, the right types of nutrients to recover with,
That
maybe a mineral or electrolyte imbalance. Most people that I talk with that are on a high protein diets are missing fiber and minerals. Most of them.
No,
Yeah.
it's true. You have to listen to your body. And I think that sometimes you get onto this little regimen of, okay, I have to do this plan of my workouts and structure it this way.
Yeah.
And you don't listen to your body. And And that definitely makes sense. You mentioned certain foods that you recommend. Can you tell us a little bit more about, besides the avocados, coconuts, give us a list of foods that we should be eating?
Oh, you cut out for a minute, but I'm
Oh,
assuming
so
that you asked for a list of foods that would be beneficial.
yes.
Okay, yeah, well, I mean, like I said, though, well, of course, I mean, you want your legumes, your grains, a variety of vegetables of all different colors, your fruit. I mean, the nuts and seeds important. Um, I always recommend with the nuts and seeds that if you up to, you can soak them a little bit. It's a little easier for you to digest. But if you do have it without soaking, make sure that you masticate well. Chewing the food is important for a number of reasons because digestion does begin in the buccal cavity with salivary amylase. The digestive system starts here. You have to masticate well. Most people just gobble down food and then have
Yeah.
issues digesting, reflux, etc. You need to masticate well so that your body can get at those nutrients, and you usually feel satisfied longer when you do that. The
Yes.
other side of it is you don't overeat. If you're taking your time and chewing and really, enjoying the food, and you don't overeat and you feel full and satisfied a lot faster. But yeah, you want to get your legumes, your grains, your fruits, your nuts, your seeds, drink adequate water. That's I consider to be the forgotten nutrient. And then if you can, get in something with some probiotics in it, like kombucha or kimchi, very important to
Ooh,
replenish your friendly bacterial flora. See? Very, very important. It's for
those are
gut health.
those,
You need that. I would say
yeah, that
digestion
that
really
is
does, it starts in the mouth, but it really begins in the gut. You know,
in the
that's
gut.
where things
Yes,
get
gut health.
broken down and absorbed.
Gut health is
Yeah,
is very, very
very
important.
important.
Can you tell me your thoughts about having like protein shakes or vegan protein shakes? What
Hmm.
your thoughts are on that? Because I know
Right,
I personally were supplementing with that because I thought I needed a certain amount of protein in my diet. So I would love to have an expert
right.
opinion on that.
Well, I mean, it depends. Like to me, it correlates with the level of intensity, because it would be
Mhm.
different for someone who is like a couch potato or a weekend warrior. I would definitely not recommend that they use a supplement. If you're somebody though who's going into the gym and really working out hard on a daily basis, you need a little help. Because that's
Okay.
that's not kind of like a normal thing to your body. Your body maybe
Mhm.
used to like wear and tear, no, your usual activity around the house or at work, but in the
Yes.
gym, hard training, I think your
Hmm.
body needs a little help. So
Okay, good.
to me, the best timing is a little bit of that supplement before you work out, so that's in your system a bit, and the rest afterwards. And then if you're really concerned about recovery, a little bit at night as well. And it doesn't have to be
Mm.
large amounts. I mean, 10 to 12 grams of protein. You'd be amazed at what your body can do with small amounts of protein at a time. It absorbs it to me a lot better anyway, and it's less stressful on your body.
That makes sense. This everything that you're saying makes a lot of sense. It's just putting it into practice that is
Yes,
going to take a little while, especially for someone who is maybe just recently transitioning or is
yes.
trying to figure out what to do, because there's a lot of information out there and it's hard to kind of go through all that information and figure out what makes sense for your body.
And I'll tell you something, and it's different trains of thought too. I mean, there's some folks who don't believe in supplementing at all, and then you have other folks who are like absolutely the advocate that you have to supplement if
Yes.
you want to recover well. So you
Yes.
get all this different information coming at you, and you're not sure,
Hmm.
okay, which way should I go? When should I have the protein? To me, protein is a timing thing. When you have it is more important than how much you have, because you
Okay.
want to be concerned about your recovery. So you're looking at
Okay.
your at-risk periods, and that's right after you work out. Your body is screaming for nutrients. It's saying, "Listen, you just worked me hard, and I need some
Yes.
recovery." And then, of course, at night when you go to sleep, and your body is in that resting phase, it's good to have those
Yeah.
nutrients in there without clogging it with heavy carbohydrates, the starches. I always recommend at night to stay really close to the high fiber foods and stay away from the heavy
Mhm.
starches. Because to me, it's a mistake to go to bed with that heavy meal in your system. I think your
Yeah.
body really struggles with that. But if it's lighter and it's a more high fiber type, meal, and then you get up in the morning and you have a good bowel movement, then that kind of gets the flow going. So
Yeah.
to me,
No,
what's
that makes
most
sense.
important than anything is recovery and flow. that your body's flowing well, water's flowing, solids are flowing, that you're going to the bathroom regularly. Those things are important. Most people don't pay attention to that. People who come to me and tell me they haven't
No,
been to the bathroom in days. I mean,
I know,
I wouldn't be able
and
to function.
I I know what you mean.
You
That
know,
feeling of
do you know
yes,
people like that?
I
Yeah.
do know
How
people
do they
like that. And you
function?
try to tell them. I said, "Have you eaten any fruits? Have you eaten any vegetables? Because once you start eating those, they just
Yes.
it's very regular. You should be going minimal once at
Yes.
least a day."
Well,
But not
National
everyone is like
Institute of
that.
Health is saying, and NIH says 3 times a day is prudent. You know, they're saying that you should
Mhm.
have 3 bowel movements. I mean, to me, that, yes, I could see it where first thing in the morning when you get up, you get it for one movement from the descending colon. Then as you move around and you drink some fluids and, you know, you put some food in the system, you may get a second movement from the transverse colon, and then
Yeah.
probably a smaller movement from the ascending colon. So to me, that makes sense. That they say that 3 bowel movements would be good. If though you're somebody who is like clockwork with it and you miss, then you know that you probably didn't get enough fiber in that day. Usually it's a good
Yes.
telltale sign of what's going on with you digestively. If you're regularly at a certain time, go to the bathroom and you don't go, I say address it right away. Don't let that go, you know. Listen to your body.
Yes. No, definitely. And I think people don't do enough of that and they just kind of get into routine of what they're eating and they just keep eating those things over, not
Yeah.
realizing that it's not making you feel good. And the fact that you said eat a little bit lighter at dinner time, I feel like that's the opposite of what people do in America
Yes.
is they eat a
Yes.
heavy dinner with a lot of, with the family and then they go to sleep thinking, I have a long time until breakfast time, so it should keep me
Mm-hmm.
full, but definitely I know that affects people's sleep as well. So these things go hand
Yes.
in hand.
Agreed. Yeah, and it's really tough on your system. I think, like, you know, especially when you're in that supine position, you know, and your body's trying to digest a heavy meal, I could see where that may cause some problems for you in terms of sleeping, in terms of just how your body moves solids and fluids throughout its system, your circulation, things like that. I could see where it would have a
Yeah.
domino effect there and affect your health at a certain level. But yeah, stay really light at night. Keep your heavier carbs for your active points in the day. If you're somebody who exercises in the morning, then you may want to eat a little more carbohydrates in around that time. You know, and then as the day goes on, diminish it. If you train at night, try to get it in before the workout and then something really light afterwards, you know, to help you with recovery, something really nutrient dense, you know. That probably won't be heavy on starches, but will be high in probably in fiber and vitamins and minerals.
That's a lot of information and that's very important. So I appreciate you telling
Yeah.
us that and explaining it in a way that makes it very easy to understand and
hmm
hopefully very easy for people to start implementing in their lifestyle.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I'll run down for you and make it really, really simple. You get in your fruits and your vegetables, try to get in 3 to 4 a day. 2 complex meals in, whether it's oatmeal in the morning or basmati rice or whatever at lunch. And make sure you add like some greens or some sort of salad items with your main meals. And at night, stay heavier on your high fiber foods. Have a large salad. Maybe you could put you know, some legumes in there like chickpeas or, you know, something like
Yeah.
this, you know, just to give it a little body. Make sure you get in your nuts and your seeds. You could always put walnuts on your oatmeal or put pumpkin seeds in your salad. You see, so right there, we've just organized the whole day. And in between, you could also do a fruit and nut mix. You can't go wrong with that. Or a probiotic yogurt blend that is coconut based. You know, and that way you get your friendly bacteria in that way in a live form. You see, so right there, I just broke down a day where
You
that should
did.
be really easy for most people to get in. And
Exactly.
a
I
lot of people will
appreciate
tell
that.
me that, yeah, a lot of people will tell me that they can't get it all in. They feel too full. They're so used to going long hours without eating anything and
Hmm.
then just having these huge meals that to have them trickle in little bits often throughout the day, it's tough for them. They have a hard time doing it. They feel too full. They can't get it in. So to me, that's a better problem to have versus, oh, I feel
Ex-
hungry and deprived. You know, better they tell me, I can't get it all in, Julian. I said, well, that's good. That means that we're
That's
on track
good.
here.
Yeah.
You know, that you're full, you're satisfied, your body's trying to learn how to digest that high fiber. Then I'm good with that. I'm usually happier with that than them telling me, oh, I'm hungry all the time. You see?
Yes.
So
Yeah, and
so yeah,
people
that's how we
usually
work
do
it out.
that. They do
Yes.
trained to do like a calorie deficit all the time in order
Yes,
to achieve their goals, and that is not something you can do sustainably, and it's something that your body is going
correct.
to, it's going to work against you.
I think so. I mean, to me, it's like adding kindling to fire to start a fire. You want to keep the metabolism going. So if you only remember one thing that I say today, when you digest and assimilate food, it's burning calories. It actually has a metabolic function. It's actually burning calories. Your body's trying to break down and get at those nutrients. So if it's a high fiber food, it probably will require more calories trying to break down that high fiber foods. So those we consider thermogenic foods. They actually generate a little bit of heat in your body as your body's trying to digest and assimilate it. If you're not eating, you're not burning calories. So to me, those long periods of time without eating slows down the metabolism. Putting in little bits often throughout the day, I think that keeps the kindling, it's a kindling to the fireplace, keeps the fire going. And that way you
Yeah.
feel satisfied all the time. You're not deprived. You have good energy. It's even. You don't have those highs and lows. You see? So, and as long as you're doing a
And you're
nice
not
blend and a nice
snacking.
mix, and you're not, looking for noshing on little, on those foods that
Hmm.
trigger you, that once you start eating them, like the chips, you can't stop
Yes,
until you eat the whole bag. You don't want to have that situation going on.
that's
You want to be
me.
satisfied when that's you, the whole thing gone in one go.
I
Yeah.
love chips.
Yeah.
That's my weakness, and I try my best not to. And so whenever I
Yeah,
plan out
yeah.
my meals in the day, and if I have them pre-planned or if I've already food prepped, then I know I'm not going to be
Yes.
eating chips.
Right, right. And okay, I know I have my set timetable. At this time, I'm going to have my little fruit and nut mix. I'm going to have my rice and beans with my salad, and you have your plans set for the day. It's to me, people spend more time color coordinating what they're going to wear when they go out to eat versus what they're going to get when they get to the rest.
Yeah.
I've always told people, how come you look so good yet you're making such bad choices when you you look good when you make your bad choices though. You're very coordinated. Your shoes look great, outfit looks great. But then when I look on your plate, there's no coordination there. You know,
Yes,
they spend more time on
that's
how they
true.
look than what they put in the body. They're more concerned about what's going on the body versus what's going in the body.
Yes,
So
that
that
is
always makes them
true.
chuckle a little bit. Yeah, you have to be,
Oh gosh.
you have to cover all your bases.
You do. No, you definitely
uh,
do. That's been very informative. Tell me a little bit more about Superfit Gym, and
yes,
you guys also have a micro sanctuary. So if you don't mind sharing a
yes.
little bit about that.
Oh yeah, well, Super Pet Gym, we started here in 2010. Wow, so I'm thinking about this will be 12 years I've been here, and we made it through
Yeah.
the pandemic. Woohoo! We're making it through the
Woo!
pandemic. We're making it through barely. But you know what? Though I'll tell you something. It keeps your sanity being able to keep up with your workout, especially if you've been
Yes.
somebody who has to stay home from work or you're an essential worker
Mhm.
and you had to go to work. It's good to know that at least there's a gym where you can go to where it's fairly safe to come in and you'll be okay. But
Yes.
yeah, Superfit Gym. We, like I was telling you before, we're the only vegan gym in Florida. We pride ourselves on educating people on plant-based nutrition. We also host all sorts of movie nights. We showed What the Health. We have all kinds of little movies that we
Oh
show,
wow.
or we will recommend that people watch them. Because
Yes.
it's important for people to educate themselves, and we see ourselves as being educators first and foremost.
Yes.
As far as the sanctuary goes, a percentage of what we make at Superfit Gym goes to running the sanctuary. And right now we have 20 full family members with us, and we take care of an additional 15 at another location. So it
Wow.
keeps us busy. So it's like having two full-time jobs, but we love it, and it gives us a chance to help others and at the same time to save some lives. We usually adopt the seniors, these poor full family members who nobody else wants because they got a little older or because they started to lose their eyesight a little bit. Usually they're the ones that don't get adopted. So that's where we step in, and we do our best, to at least give them a good quality of life, in their final years. Yeah.
That's
So that's what we do
beautiful.
at Dharma Bear Rescue. So,
Oh, that
yeah,
is
thank you.
beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
And what type of
They
animals
saved
do you guys
us.
have at Dharma Bears?
Hmm. Well,
What type of animals?
we have four dogs right now. Four dogs,
Oh,
10 cats, two sheep, two goats, and two pigs.
Oh, wow.
Tons
Okay.
of yeah, I know it's turtles as well. A variety of fish in the pond. We try to save fish as well as best as we can. Right now we're kind of redoing the pond to make sure that it's well aerated. So that's one of the fundraisers that we're going to have. We want to try to put in a good aeration system for the fish, and of course that in turn, because it's so lush there, attracts a lot of birds. So we have also quite a few birds. There are a lot of wild rabbits that we try to keep safe as we can. And right now
Hmm.
we're working on enclosures to make sure that they have a safe haven, a place where they can live and thrive without being run down or hunted down. So we're in the heart of Loxahatchee, so that's always a great place to be because at night you can see stars. So that's wonderful. So, and there's also a lot of creatures out there, and we try our best to keep the sanctuary friendly for them.
No, that's great. And I know people can find out a little bit more. They can help with donating to the sanctuary and volunteering, correct? At Superfit Gym. Yep,
Correct.
Superfit Vegan. Perfect.
Superfitvegan.com is our website.
Yes,
We're also
right
on
here.
Facebook. Dharma Bears Rescue is on Facebook. And also Superfit Gym is on Facebook. So you can't miss us there. And there's links to everything. And we're on
And you can,
Instagram, Superfit Gym,
of
WW
course,
West Palm Beach, Superfit Gym, WPB.
and perfect. And you can find them always on the vKind app because you guys are always
Yes.
one of the top ones that we talk about. If you're in Florida, you need to go to Superfit Gym.
Absolutely. Oh, I want to mention one more thing. Every first Saturday of the month, we have a Super Saturday, and it's always a fundraiser. We have a special class, and all the funds usually go towards animal care. We a lot of the times donate to other micro sanctuaries because the micro sanctuaries really need the most help. The bigger sanctuaries
Yes.
usually are well established, and they have benevolent people who are helping them out and benefactors. But for the small micro sanctuaries, usually we're the ones that struggle the most. So we try to help the other sanctuaries as well. Every first Saturday of the month, we have a special class.
And can people do your class remotely? Do you have a virtual option or is it all in person?
Not yet, not
Okay.
yet, but it's something we've talked about. So
Okay.
so stay posted.
Say perfect. We love to hear about
Yeah,
that.
it's
Well,
coming. It's coming. Very good.
appreciate your time, Julian. Thank you so much for telling us about Superfit Gym,
Thank
Dharma
you.
Bears, and we appreciate you being one of the Be Kind members that we, like I said, love talking about, and appreciate all the knowledge you gave us today. I learned a lot just from talking to you, and I am going to plan out my meals a little bit better now because you gave me a lot of things to think about.
Variety, color, variety. Stay close to the
Yes.
earth. Can't go wrong.
Perfect. If you guys, everyone at home, thank you so much for tuning in to our live. Like, subscribe, comment, and follow for more to be coming soon.
Very good. Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
On episode 1 of Vibes, we're taking you inside Bestie's Vegan Paradise, the 100% vegan marketplace in East Hollywood. There, we'll meet with co-founder and owner Asia Rain and learn more about the story behind Hollywood's favorite vegan grocery store. Our co-hosts, professor and television host Shabnam Islam and LA-based actor and writer Jill Galbraith, will face off in a cruelty-free contest inspired by Supermarket Sweep inside of Bestie's. Come join us for an exciting first episode of Vibes, the show that's busting vegan stereotypes one city at a time.
Pretty cool.